Opera 1964 here, going over the 8 games yesterday, PDC World Championships. Didn't have a chance to watch any of these live. The first 4 games are actually at a social event in the morning, all the way down in, where was it? Near Newton Cliff, somewhere over to Castle. I didn't fancy getting back watching stuff halfway through because I wanted to actually at least either watch all the games or just watch the highlights and the evening ones. To be honest, I think I needed to do, so I didn't have a chance to watch them. Beyond the match, I didn't actually technically watch the amazing Ricky Evans James Wade highlights in full. Actually, I saw PDC had uploaded the final set, and so I decided to watch that instead. So going through the results, again, mixed for me, 5 right, 3 wrong, although the 2 which I got, 2 of the ones I got wrong, one I was very miles from about at all, the other 2 I have said about the 2 people who lost. I have issues with them maybe in this tournament or generally on the TV. Going in order, Razma, an easy victory over Darren Beveridge. I actually felt Razma would get to the 3rd round originally and unfortunately changed my mind. In my original preview video whole tournament, I thought Peter Manby would just edge ahead down Beveridge and then Razma would beat Vandenberg. To be honest, Vandenberg, as you know, didn't turn up at all against Darren Beveridge, but an easy win really for Madars. Razma. Wessel Nijman getting battered there by Gabriel Clemens, the former world semi-finalist from 3 years ago. I saw him on time Manby to Ali Pally. I saw Clemens beating Alan Soutar. I was also playing today, yesterday of course. But I've always said about Wessel Nijman in my videos. But one thing about him is an awful record on the TV in this country, and yet again, I don't know why. I've said this, is it possibly match fixing? Does he get booed? I don't know. Does he get booed by the crowd? Maybe I don't know, but he's been done for match fixing. Does he just have fear people are thinking about it? I just don't know. I just do not understand why he's got such a truly awful record on the TV in this country. He does, and Clemens getting some form. He's not really done much since his slightly fortuitous run to our field for semi-finals about 3 years ago. He played Alan Soutar, who was a decent enough player, but never just hovering on the top 32 at the time, and slightly further down now. In the 4th round, then a completely malfunctioning Gary Price with his headphones in the quarter-finals. So maybe flattered by Cameron Clemens, but that's some sort of form. Now, with that, just seeing the draw here, very quickly to stop over, I was just noticing this one, I was just checking situation here with that. But I actually overlooked something from the day before. I was talking about one of my favourite players, Andrew Gilding, beating Chris Dobie. I hadn't realised that Gilding, Woodhouse, Plazier and Witkowski, one of them is going to make the quarter-finals. That's very interesting. All of them are not. Woodhouse perhaps the most likely one beating people for those to have a chance at the quarter-finals. But it's going to be very, very interesting where that, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And one thing probably going to win, you thinking it going up against Luke Littler, probably in the quarters. I mean, unless something very strange happens there. So the other games, David Munyua, decent enough average to be fair against Kevin Doets. Kevin Doets went into a 3rd round. It's not surprising. Munyua did brilliantly to beat Mike DeDecker, went out there. I mean, amazing James with Ricky Evans game where I did think Wade would win it, but I've also been saying, well, Wade's record in this tournament for his of his quality isn't great. He's had 4 semi-finals, that's over the best part of 20 years, and he hasn't won for a few years now. And it's the 4th time in a row he's gone out of the 2nd round. Because this year he started in the 1st round, like previously he started in the 2nd round. He doesn't seem to like this tournament. Ricky Evans, of course, popular guy, had a tragedy of losing his sister this year. He thought after match reporting to the sky, obviously thinking of her. Obviously an awful situation for him, an awful year just outside darts. Still player, I'll come back to Evans in a second actually. And you got the other ones, John Van Veen, Alan Soutar. Van Veen was in real trouble for a while. Rex and now if he up there, but Soutar, he owed that, hitting 1 double to go 2 sets up. I remember back in the day, I was watching Glenn Doets when his first 3 PDL titles. I was watching him play Paul Hogan, and Hogan hit, instead of hitting double 8, hit double 16 to bust his score. And there's one of the commentators, it might have been David, oh God, Lloyd, who was, no, Lloyd, David Croft. I think he was saying, he was doing one of the commentary, and one of the commentators there saying that, I think it was him saying that Hogan was in his mind to be throwing the fight of that double 8 west of the match, as he was 3-0 up and lost 4-3, or 2-0 up and lost 3-2, and he just hardly won a leg afterwards, really. He just couldn't recover. And I mean, great average. So through there, Nathan Aspinall a safe enough win over Leonard Gates, making headway again in the tournament. Leonard Gates doing well enough, but no. Paul Lim losing to Luke Humphries. Well, I mean, Paul Lim's done well. He won that opening game against Jeffrey DeGraff, and he did beat Luke Humphries 5 years ago, but it's not the same Luke Humphries. And a very good average indeed from Luke Humphries. And the last one there, Charlie Manby against Aaron Sevada, who didn't really do anything, 79 average, not won anything much with that. Charlie Manby, I want you to say my dark horse, my pitch, a black horse, because my dark horse was, so 100 to 1, was Johnny Clayton, really. Charlie Manby at 500 to 1 isn't even that. And so he won that. I said he'd be disappointed if he hadn't won against whoever. I thought whoever won between Charlie Manby, Cameron Menzies said would beat whoever won between Matt Campbell and Sevada. Sevada won, but didn't do anything much. A poor performance, 79 to be perfectly frank. So we've got 8 matches tomorrow. I was going to say yes. Let's come back to Rick Evans. Rick Evans will be playing Charlie Manby now in the 3rd round. And I did say that Manby, I got a good chance of maybe out of this game, quarter-finals. I think that would depend, I always said it would depend on Van Veen, which Van Veen turned up. But it's not with Van Veen from previous World Championships, because Van Veen's turned up from the European Championship winning that. So he'll come in against it. So whoever wins that match between Manby and Rick Evans, I think Manby should be favourite. That could be really, I'd like to see that game. I'll have to take on, you'll probably take on Van Veen, assuming Van Veen wins his 3rd round game. Got matches, just saying quickly, matches tomorrow, well today, coming up. Johnny Tartar, Wyan Meikle. I think Tartar, well, I have Tartar's favourite with that one. Darren Gurney, Callum Woods, I've already said, I'm not going to change my views on my out here, so Darren Gurney, I think, just said just Callum Woods. Do you know what I mean? A big Scott Williams isn't a play he was 2 years ago. Anna Merkel is the one I think might be Peter White now. I did say poor performance really for White in winning his 1st round game, Merck playing well against a poor performance in Bingham Highbricks. But Burke had a better average. Darren Oppie, I'd be surprised doesn't beat Justin Hood. Gadsden, Connor Scott did better 4-2 to the 1st round. Anderson, I think he'll do enough. Back of William Connor, I wouldn't want to watch this game actually in the evening. I got no plans to it this evening. So I'd like to see that one, because William Connor had a brilliant average the 1st round. I'm going to be rather misfiring. Wasn't 100% convincing. He'll be year's favourite, check the odds at some point, but it's not overwhelming favourite Mount Montgomery as he would have been a few years ago. Certainly not about 9 years ago, and he was really unbeatable, although I have to say only winning the World Championships. I think he has underachieved here. And lastly, Joshua Jokomito. He's done positive Jokomito actually. Although Joshua should have won, but he's done slightly underperforming with TV. So again, like Gabriel, Price, just Dobie, players like that. Some of my favourite players, Ryan Searle, who he won, and Dim Heston won, but a couple of players went out who are saying like Price and Dobie, who I feel better floor from the TV. Rockies as well, despite his his World Cup win with Dow Gurney, who he probably will play, I feel. He'll play, with Gurney and Rock win their games, they'll play in the 4th round. That should be interesting. But anyway, that is the end of the darts for today.